Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Now at 6, a deadly stabbing just before midnight as you look live at the scene in Fayetteville. What we're learning from investigators there.
And it's a cold start, but not as cold as it was yesterday. I'm going to show you the best day to get outside and enjoy some warm, dry weather. Trust me, it's going to be quick.
And crime and public safety. How Raleigh and Durham's mayors are working to find solutions to issues in our communities today at a national conference. A lot of stuff that we are covering this morning on this Friday as you're headed into the weekend. Let's get started. Thanks for joining us. I'm Chris Lovingood.
And I'm Renee Chu. And progress in terms of temperatures, not a cold start, but a chilly start. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We're in the 30s.
Yeah, I'll tell you, your perspective changes after you've seen temperatures in the low to mid-teens like yesterday. This is a live look at Durham. Of course, skies are clear this morning. It is 31 degrees, so we're sitting very close to freezing with no wind right now. We've not had much of a wind chill to deal with anywhere this morning, and temperatures are hovering around freezing. A little colder in Roxborough at 25, but Durham's at 31, 29 in Rocky Mount, 35 in Fayetteville, but 25 in Southern Pines. So we're kind of all over the place with our temperatures, but overall it is much warmer than yesterday, around 5 to 15 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday. This is going to be the day if you need to get outside, soak in some sunshine, be outside. We're looking at a high of 52. Tomorrow and Sunday will be on the mild side, especially tomorrow, but it's also going to be a little on the wet side. Here's a look at our rain chances for Saturday. It's going to be mainly in the middle of the day. It may not be very heavy, but it's probably going to affect a good bit of your plans. We're going to talk more about the bitter cold for next week coming up. Ken?
6:01, Elizabeth. We're going to keep it outside, give you a live look at one of our major roadways this morning. It's I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lane's coming toward us. Really light traffic this time of the morning, but if this is part of your morning commute, that's exactly what you want to see. Elsewhere, all our major routes from Wendell, Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, all delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head out the door. Hey, tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3. We'll keep you updated all morning long.
We're following breaking news this morning. Right now, police are on the scene of a deadly stabbing in Fayetteville. This happened on Aspen Court. In fact, WRAL's Nick Perlin, he has been there for quite some time where the officers are and the WRAL breaking news tracker. Nick, police have been in that neighborhood since about, midnight?
Hey, Chris, actually just before midnight, they arrived here and they said that they found a man with stabbing wounds. And sadly, that man died right here and the crime scene is still taped off behind me. I want to show you some video from the WRAL breaking news trackers. It's very dark behind me. You can see here, officers and investigators here taping off the scene and trying to figure out what led up to the stabbing. They are focusing in on this blue house. We've seen them go inside of that house all morning. We do know that right before midnight, they arrived here. They found a man with stabbing wounds. Sadly, that man died. At this point in time, we're still working with the Fayetteville Police Department to find out potentially if more people were stabbed and who killed that man. As we get more information, of course, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Fayetteville, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
An escaped inmate who is a registered sex offender is on the run in Duplin County. This is Kevin Worsham. He escaped from a work release assignment yesterday evening in Teachey. That's not too far from Wallace and I-40. He was assigned to the Carteret Correctional Center. He was serving a sentence for failure to report an address change to the sex offender registry, as well as breaking and entering and larceny. He was scheduled to be released in December of this year. He's 5'10", weighs about 180 pounds. If you see him, call 911. Today, local mayors will be in D.C. to work to solve issues in our communities. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live from Raleigh City Hall. Kelsey, Raleigh and Durham's mayors will be at this U.S. Conference of Mayors.
Yes, Renee, they're in D.C. right now, and the decisions that are made here inside Raleigh City Hall could potentially be influenced by what's going on during this conference. We know that crime and public safety are going to be a huge topic of discussion. We dug into some statistics about homicides in Raleigh, and there were 6 less homicides in 2024 compared to 2023. We spoke with Raleigh Mayor Janet Cowell about public safety ahead of this week's conference. She says she plans to ask questions about how to build better infrastructure for public safety as Raleigh continues to grow. Let's take a look at homicides in Durham. There were 49 homicides in 2023 and 39 in 2024. That's about a 20% decrease. But our WRAL Investigates team found an uptick in youth crime last year, particularly the number of juveniles killed by gun violence. Coming up on Fox 50, we'll have a live interview with Durham Mayor Leonardo Williams about public safety and his plans for the conference. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Friends and family are remembering a teenager who was shot to death in Durham. They gathered for a memorial and a balloon release last night to honor 15-year-old Orion A.J. Clendenning. He was killed while out in the snow Saturday afternoon at an apartment complex. Investigators say someone shot him from a car and then drove away. His family wants closure.
Y'all just please help me figure this out. Help me catch the people that did this to my son.
They've been through this before. Gang members shot AJ's best friend, 9-year-old Zion Person, back in 2019. So far this year, 6 people have been shot in Durham and 2 of them have died.
And happening right now in the WRAL Live Center, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has confirmed that a ceasefire deal has been reached in Gaza. But despite this, blasts still continue to go off in Gaza. Blasts continue there as the Israeli Security Cabinet is voting right now on the ceasefire and hostage release deal. The deal must be approved by the full cabinet, which is expected to meet tomorrow. Israel is hopeful the ceasefire can start Sunday despite delays. The vote was delayed yesterday after Netanyahu accused Hamas of seeking last-minute concessions. They have denied that. There are constantly updates coming out of this, so we're going to keep you updated here in the Live Center.
Please do, Michelle. Thank you. New this morning, in one of his final acts in the Oval Office, President Joe Biden is giving clemency to nearly 2,500 nonviolent drug offenders. Biden has now given more individuals pardons and commutations than any other president. The White House says the commutations are for people who are serving longer sentences than what they would get if they were sentenced today. And that's because of changes in the sentences for crimes related to crack cocaine. Biden says he may take more clemency action before his term ends Monday.
The Santa Ana winds have died down across the greater Los Angeles area. This helps firefighters bring almost 40,000 acres of ongoing wildfires under control. As of this morning, the Palisades fire is 27% contained. The Eaton fire is 55% contained. The work to clean up entire neighborhoods that burned will take months. People who live in Los Angeles County must wait at least another week before they can return to their homes. EPA teams are starting to remove hazardous materials from the area. The mayor of Malibu also says the Pacific Coast Highway will be closed for weeks for utility work and to remove debris. We spoke with a former WRAL reporter who is now on the ground in California. She is seeing the destruction up close. Candace Sweat now works for the NBC affiliate in Dallas. She was called in to help relieve the exhausted reporters in LA. We asked her what it's been like to see the scorched communities and to hear the stories of loss.
You know, the TV can only show you so much. But when you're on the ground, your feet are on the ground, and all of your senses are engaged, right? You can see it, you can smell it, you can touch it. It's surreal.
For more information on how to help, you can go to WRAL.com and search wildfires.
Well, the clock is ticking on TikTok. This morning, the Supreme Court is expected to release its opinion on the social media app. Then it could go dark for American users this Sunday when a federal ban takes effect. The app and its parent company, ByteDance, have sparked concern over user data collection and possible influence by the Chinese government. More than 100 million Americans use this app and make a living from it. Rebbe Hardy is a North Carolina mother who has turned her content into a business, collecting more than 2 million followers. And she says this app has made it possible for women like herself to have careers and stay at home.
It's also the #1 supplemental income for military spouses and stay-at-home moms. I mean, I've been able to have the liberty of not having to find work elsewhere and stay home with my kids.
Both the outgoing Biden administration and the incoming Trump administration have said they are looking for ways to keep TikTok available in the United States. But there are still a lot of questions on how exactly that would happen.
A man is in custody after gunshots were heard in a North Raleigh neighborhood. Raleigh police say officers arrived to Grassy Knoll Lane just before 6 p.m. And that's because of reports from neighbors saying they heard someone firing gunshots. One man was taken into custody. His name has not been released, and no one was hurt.
A 19-year-old accused of killing 2 people in Hillsborough is being held in jail this morning without bond. Kenyon Cameron appeared in court yesterday. His family was also in the courtroom. They yelled to him, encouraging him to stay silent. Cameron is charged with murdering 16-year-old Zakira Wardlow and 20-year-old DeAnthony Morgan. Their bodies were found last month in a car on Cardinal Drive.
Tonight, there will be another benefit concert to support Raleigh's House of Art. The concert will be held at the London Bridge Pub in downtown Raleigh. It gets started at 10 tonight. The House of Art was a bar and a creative space. It was destroyed in a fire on January 7th. A woman is facing charges with intentionally starting that fire.
Your time is 6:10. More It Ends With Us drama. The multi-million-dollar lawsuit the film's actor, Justin Baldoni, filed against his co-star, Blake Lively, and her husband, Ryan Reynolds.
And the weekend is here. We have your out and about best bets for an eventful weekend in the Triangle.
And today looks nice and dry, sunny and mild, but we have a cold front that'll sweep through this weekend, first bringing rain and then Arctic air for next week. I'll go over all of it for you coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
It is 6:13. We are in for a really pretty sunrise coming up shortly, just like we saw yesterday. Kids at the bus stop maybe don't need to bundle up quite as much as yesterday, but still a good thick coat. Maybe they can leave the gloves and hats behind. Temperatures are going to be very close to freezing this morning. During the afternoon, it's going to be a good one, and it's a Friday. I highly recommend kids get home, send them out to the park, let them enjoy some sunshine and temperatures in the low 50s, because the weekend will be wetter and mild. And then, boy, we're sunny for next week, but bitterly cold. So this looks like the best day that we're going to see for a while to spend a little time outside. We'll take a little sneak peek at the timeline for the rain tomorrow. It's going to start to ramp up mid-morning, and then it should be over by early afternoon. It'll be fairly light, but it is going to leave some wet conditions behind for tomorrow. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. That road debris that we've been talking about on Sunnybrook and Pool Road, not causing any problems for you this morning. All the major routes to Raleigh and all points east delay-free at this hour. Similarly, in Durham, Chapel Hill, Hillsborough, I-885, all free and clear this morning. And this is a look at I-885 and TW Alexander Drive. Traffic flowing nicely in both directions. You're getting ready to head out this morning. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
In D.C., 3 people are hurt because a pickup truck drove off the Arlington Memorial Bridge. It landed in the river below. First responders say the truck crashed through a railing after a crash involving another vehicle. They say one person was pulled from the submerged truck and received advanced life support on shore. 2 people in the other car involved in the collision were transported to the hospital with minor injuries. It's not clear what led to the crash.
Actor Justin Baldoni is suing his It Ends With Us co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds. He's accusing the couple of extortion, defamation, and invasion of privacy. He claims they used their star power to hijack the film that he both co-starred and directed. Baldoni is seeking $400 million and a jury trial, and this is happening after Lively filed a lawsuit against Baldoni just weeks ago. She accused him of sexual harassment and launching a smear campaign to ruin her reputation.
A local radio personality is asking listeners for support after his wife suffered a brain aneurysm. Kyle Smelzer is a host on Mixed Mornings. This week, he shared the news that his wife, Sarah, suffered a brain aneurysm and several strokes, all while 30 weeks pregnant with their second child. The health scare has caused her to lose vision and feeling on one side of her body. The family is asking for the community's support and prayers during this time. And we are certainly hoping for the best for Kyle, Sarah, and the baby. You'll find more information on this story on WRAL.com. Several U.S. lawmakers from North Carolina are again pushing for federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe. U.S. Representatives Richard Hudson, David Rouser, and Mark Harris, along with Senators Tom Tillis and Ted Budd, have introduced the Lumbee Fairness Act. The bipartisan legislation would provide federal recognition and protections for the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina. This legislation has come up many times over the years. President-elect Trump has said he will sign it if it passes Congress.
There's a lot of entertainment options this weekend available to you around the Triangle.
Let's start with a comedy show happening in Durham. Humor is great therapy. Acclaimed comedian Joe Gatto will be performing tonight at the DPAC. He's best known for the hit television shows Impractical Jokers and The Misery Index. Gatto is currently on his Let's Get Into It tour. Tonight's show starts at 7. Tickets are still available. They start at $35.
And this is a Raleigh tradition you do not want to miss out. You can slip into a time warp tonight at the Rialto Theater. A screening of the Rocky Horror Picture Show is happening tonight. If you want to go, doors open at 11:30, and a live cast will take the stage at 11:55. Admission is $11.
On Sunday night, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons will bring their show to the DPAC. The Last Encores Tour features the band's greatest hits from the last 60 years. The show starts 7:30 Sunday night. Tickets start at $73. And for more on this and other fun events happening around the Triangle this weekend, just head to WRAL.com and search Out and About. I know people will want to get out. Just in terms of temperatures, it's going to be on the warmer side, finally.
It is finally, but I'm thinking that maybe you want to have something to protect your head, maybe an umbrella, at least one of the days over the weekend. Elizabeth Gardner is tracking that for you as she has your weather forecast.
It's nice and clear like it was yesterday, but our temperatures are not quite as cold. Fayetteville, Raleigh, Apex, Chapel Hill are all going to look really pretty when that sun comes up here shortly. Chapel Hill's courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant. It's going to look kind of like this, even though this is a video. All right, temperatures are close to freezing, stepping out the door at lunchtime, 45, and a nice afternoon with highs in the low 50s. Lots of sunshine. This is the last and a really comfortable day for getting outside that we'll see for a while. Wetter over the weekend and then really cold next week. Here's a look at the precipitation. Low pressure system, a cold front are going to form here and slide eastward. The cold air is already starting to retreat. We are looking at light rain on Saturday and a few light sprinkles on Sunday. The potential for a wintry mix as this ends on Sunday in our viewing area is looking less likely. We take a look at our cold front. It's going to come sweeping across, a good bit of warm air ahead of it, and then cold air comes moving in behind it, but it just doesn't look like it's quite going to match up. Likely to see some wintry precipitation well into Virginia or West Virginia, but not for us. Let's go over futurecast for the rain tomorrow. Here's 5 a.m., a little bit of light patchy rain. It's still kind of scattered there at 9 o'clock, and then by the time we get to lunchtime, it's mostly out of the Triangle, and by 2 o'clock, it's out of the viewing area. Futurecast showing a little bit of sunshine trying to break through tomorrow afternoon. I wouldn't count on that, but it's not out of the question. A little bit of light patchy rain rolls through during the day on Sunday, and it's just going to be with us sort of on and off during the day. This is a look at our potential for snow Sunday night, and you can see it's really well up into Virginia. If that changes, we'll let you know, but yesterday it looked more likely. It's also looking less and less likely that we're going to see any snow or wintry mix next week. Here's a look at the most likely track. It's going to be very cold next week, but a low pressure system has to move just in the right spot for us to get snow or a wintry mix in our area, and this time it looks like it's going to be closer to the coast. We're still 5 or 6 days out. If that changes, we'll let you know, but right now there's just really not snow in our forecast. It is going to be very cold next week. We're going to talk about how many hours we could be below freezing coming up, Ken.
At 6:20, Elizabeth, we take a live look at our traffic sensors this morning. We're going to start to the east of Wake County. We're seeing congestion building there on the usual Highway 64 lanes, I-87 coming in from Zebulon. As even though you're seeing red and yellow on the map, really it's just a 3-minute delay. But so nothing that's going to make you late right now. But if you're coming out of Zebulon this morning, you might want to leave the house a little sooner than usual. We are getting reports of some type of debris in the road at Sunnybrook and Pool Road, but not seeing any delays in that area. But all the other major routes around the Triangle and surrounding communities delay-free at this hour.
Ken, thank you. Coming up, finalizing the ceasefire deal. What's happening right now to take the next steps toward ending the fighting in Israel and Gaza and sending hostages home.
Plus, a benefit for wildfire victims. The big names that are slated to perform in California to help people in need there.
Ahead this morning on Today, a look at the amazing new technology the NFL is testing. The league is using artificial intelligence with dozens of different cameras to make calls. They have a deeper dive on how it works and whether it'll be seen on the field anytime soon.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
The stars of a benefit concert for victims of the California wildfire were just announced.
And it includes some pretty big names, too. Ken Smith is here now with What's Trending.
Yeah, Chris and Renee, the one-night-only Fire Aid event will include performances from big names like Lady Gaga, John Mayer, Gwen Stefani, Stevie Nicks, Katy Perry, Billie Eilish, and a whole lot more. The concert will take place at two venues, the Intuit Dome and the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. It will be broadcast and live-streamed January 30th.
And this is so important because, I mean, you've seen the photos. We've been talking about it. We've seen the videos. It is just tragic what's going out there. But to see everyone coming together, doing what they can, it's heartwarming to see.
Yeah, and celebrities using their platforms, I bet they'll raise a lot of money.
And it was nice to hear from a former colleague, Candace Sweat, who's on the ground there right now. Hey, there's a big reason Lego is trending this morning. The company releasing a new set that's just for twihards. Fans of the Twilight Saga will be able to build a model of the Cullen family home with this set. By the way, it's 2,000 pieces. It comes with 7 minifigures, including Bella, Edward, Jacob, and other favorite characters.
She wants it. Renee wants it. Look at her.
I'm a twi medium, okay? And it was 15 years ago, back in my younger days, and I had a little more time on my hands, and I loved the Twilight Saga. I don't know if I could do the whole Lego thing, but it looks very much like it's bringing back great memories.
I think we just
Team
found
Edward.
Renee's new weekend activity.
She totally
when it
wants
comes out.
She totally wants it.
Team Edward all the way.
Thanks, Ken. Hey, this Monday, you can celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. WRAL presents the 45th annual Triangle Martin Luther King Jr. Interfaith Prayer Breakfast. Join us for an inspiring morning of unity, reflection, and hope, featuring powerful speakers, uplifting voices, and messages that celebrate the dream that changed the nation. And WRAL's Gerald Owens will be the event's MC. Watch our broadcast on Fox 50 at 10 a.m., or you can watch the entire event live starting at 7 a.m. on WRAL.com.
It's a chilly start out there. Temperatures range from the mid-20s to the mid-30s. We are looking at a mild day today, but we're going to go over our chances for rain this weekend coming up.
Plus, a deadly stabbing around midnight. The questions we're asking after Fayetteville police say a man was killed.
Plus, one final interview. What President Biden says he regrets, and he says his time in the office, how it was spent.